Welcome everyone to Pleasure Map, your guide to the erogenous zones of the Zodiac. Now this video is very apropos because the sun is in sexy Scorpio and we will be having a full moon in Taurus on November 5th, 2025. But if you're catching this at a later date, that's okay. All the information in it is evergreen and always applicable. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and of course, welcome back if you're returning. I'm Joshua the Psychic, and you can check out my website, psychicsun.com, if there's anything I can do for you. So this Taurus full moon is all about embodying your desire. It's a great time to awaken your senses because this lunation is going to heighten your sense of taste, touch, scent, and sound. So it's a great time to determine and explore what turns you on, what feels good, and what you enjoy. Use this time to connect to your body. Listen to your body. Your body can't lie, right? So take time to discover your own zones where energy and ecstasy intertwine. Be sure to honor your chakras. They're the gateways to deeper love, healing, and desire. So when your chakras are open and balanced, universal life force energy flows through you more easily, making life easier. You're helped. You're not having to do everything yourself when you have universal life force energy flowing through you. In order to do that, you have to open your chakras. It's also a really good time to start creating pleasure rituals, ritualizing pleasure, turning touch, breath, and presence into acts of devotion and self-love. What can you do on a regular basis to honor your body? So we're going to go through the erogenous zones for every sign of the zodiac. This will hopefully help you determine what might feel good to you and for your partner. Starting, of course, with Aries. Aries rules the head and the face. And in terms of chakras, you can think the root chakra right at the base of the spine to the crown chakra. That creates a nice spark for Aries. Keywords for Aries include passionate, impulsive, brave, and hot-blooded. Their chakra focus is the crown because they rule the head, but also, of course, the root chakra at the base of the spine. Aries burns from both ends. In fact, they may often burn the candle at both ends, right? They say Aries have two speeds, burn and off. And when they're on, their thought and their impulse are one. That's why they're very impulsive. Pleasure for Aries begins in the mind and rushes through movement. Because their head is one of their erogenous zones, you may kiss their forehead, you might want to tug their hair, or trace their jawline while meeting their gaze. How to please an Aries? Well, keep it spontaneous, bold, and full of motion. Keep it moving because Aries gets bored easily and you want to keep up. Now, Taurus is very different from Aries. You want to slow it down with your Taurus. They rule the neck and the throat. So those are very sensitive areas for Taurus, and they connect with the throat chakra. Keywords for Taurus include sensual, loyal, physical, and musical. They love music, so you may want to make sure their favorite tunes are softly playing in the background. Chakra focus is their throat, which has to do with expression, of course, but also listening. The throat chakra connects to the ears as well. Taurus rules touch, taste, and tone. Their throat is their pleasure gate. You may want to whisper their name, trace their collarbone, and let your voice vibrate against their skin. Very sensual. Feed them something decadent, maybe a strawberry. Their body awakens through rhythm and luxury. Every slow movement for Taurus is an offering. How to please your Taurus? Well, speak softly, move slowly, no sudden moves for your Taurus. They like predictability and make it feel indulgent. Now, with Gemini, you get to have a little bit more fun. You don't have to be as by the book, as they're more keen on the unpredictable, unlike Taurus. Gemini rules the shoulders, the arms, and the hands. So even massaging their hands could be great for Gemini. And in terms of chakras, we're talking about the throat and the heart. right? Because they're talkers. They love to chat. Keywords for Gemini include curious, playful, clever, and teasing. Their chakra focus is the throat to the heart, connection through communication. Embodiment, well, Gemini feels through gestures and conversation. Pleasure travels through touch that talks. Hands tracing lines, words dancing between breaths. You may want to chit chat while you're pleasing your Gemini. They adore texting that turns to touching, laughter that turns to lingering. They're very intellectual people, so you want to make sure you're keeping their mind engaged. Keep their mind teased as much as their skin, because variety is the aphrodisiac for Gemini. Now, Cancer is very different from Gemini. Whereas Gemini is intellectual, Cancer is much more emotional. So it will help for you to be really tuned in emotionally to your Cancerian. They rule the chest and the breast, and the focus is on the heart chakra. Keywords for your Cancer include tender, emotional, protective, and intuitive. Cancer's heart is tidal. Their emotion and their body move as one. You may want to caress their chest like waves over sand. They melt when they feel cherished. So you want to make sure you're making your Cancerian feel at home. The right touch feels like safety itself, and pleasure deepens when emotion and devotion entwine. How to please your Cancer? Be sure to create comfort first. Then make sure you're adding soft lighting, slow rhythm, and sincere affection. And with Leo, you get to fire it up. They're much more passionate than emotional. They rule the back and the spine, so those areas are very sensitive for Leo. They also rule the heart, making that area sensitive for them as well. But in terms of chakras, it is indeed the solar plexus, right at the center of your abdomen, that yellow chakra. Keywords for Leo include proud, warm, dramatic, and loyal. Leo's pleasure radiates from their spine, the channel of confidence. So you may want to touch their back, trace upward strokes of admiration. Praise fuels their flame, and adoration is foreplay. So heap on the sincere flattery. Remember, Leo is ruled by the sun, the center of the universe. So they want to feel as if they are the best. Their body responds to worship as much as it does warmth. How to please your Leo? Compliment freely, touch generously, be generous with your attention, and let them shine. Remember, they're the star of the show in the bedroom. Now, with Virgo, you may want to tone it down a bit. At least at first. They're not as fiery or as passionate as Leo. On the body, Virgo rules the stomach and the lower abs, making these areas especially sensitive to your Virgo. In terms of chakras, it's the solar plexus as well as the sacral. Keywords for your Virgo include devoted, detailed, discerning, and purely passionate. Though they're called the Virgin, they can get down and dirty as much as the other signs. Pleasure for Virgo lies in precision and trust. Gentle touches near the abdomen calm the mind and awaken their sensitivity. Clean sheets, of course. They are Virgos after all, and you don't want to have anything around that doesn't serve any practical purpose. They also may enjoy candlelight and slow breathing to open their energy flow. When Virgo surrenders control, magic happens. How to please your Virgo? Appeal to their senses through subtlety, care, and attention. Now with Libra, you're likely to have more fun. They're very easygoing people typically. They go along to get along. In fact, a lot of Libras are people pleasers. So if they are pleasing you, that will please them. On the body, the lower back and buttocks are particularly sensitive for your Libra. And in terms of chakras, it's the heart and sacral, those two being balanced. Keywords for your Libra include graceful, romantic, harmonious, and magnetic. Their sensuality thrives on symmetry. So what you do to one side of their body, be sure to do to the other side. Caress the curve of their lower back, sway in rhythm. You may want to match their breathing, mirror their moves. They crave equilibrium, beauty in touch, and harmony in breath. An aesthetic pleasure is their aphrodisiac. So if you're pretty or they're pretty, they're probably going to be happy. How to please your Libra? Set the mood with fragrance, music, and candlelight. Let foreplay feel like art. And for Scorpio, the sexiest sign of the zodiac, well, sex for them is no trivial matter. They rule the pelvis and the sex organs. So sex and pleasure with Scorpio is a big deal because it's so much a part of who they are. On the body, they rule the root and the sacral chakras. Keywords for your Scorpio include intense, transformative, magnetic, and deep. For Scorpio, pleasure is rebirth. Their core pulses with desire for merging and release. Every touch is a ritual, every breath a confession. They crave surrender and control in equal measure. So you want to make them feel as if they're in control so that they can then surrender. How to please your Scorpio? Meet their gaze without fear. They can be intense, match their rhythm, and honor their mystery. And unlike Scorpio, sex for Sagittarius may indeed be a laughing matter. They're a lot lighter, a lot more jovial when it comes to sex and pleasure. On the body, they rule the hips and the thighs. And because they're often very active people, these areas hold a lot of tension. So you may want to focus your energy there. As for chakras, it's the sacral and the root chakra. So they're all about pleasure while being grounded. Keywords for your Sagittarius include adventurous, free, playful, and philosophical. Sagittarius finds joy through motion. Pleasure is a journey. So keep things active in the bedroom. Move around. Their hips crave freedom, and laughter loosens their energy. So keep it light, playful, and fun. Exploration and humor ignite their spark. How to please your Sagittarius? Keep it spontaneous. Not too much planning. They're fire signs after all. They like things in the heat of the moment. Travel, dance, stretch, explore together, and let the body move without boundaries. They're all about freedom, exploration, and adventure. And Capricorn is a lot more serious. So first order of business is to establish safety and trust with your Capricorn so they can relax and let go. On the body, they rule the knees and the bones. In fact, the entire skeletal system, as well as the skin. And they're connected to the root chakra, the earthy root chakra. Keywords for your Capricorn include ambitious, grounded, controlled, and strong. They are more likely to be the one who's in charge in the bedroom. But if you can establish safety and trust, you can help them to relinquish control. Capricorn's pleasure builds through trust and structure. Their knees symbolize surrender, and grounding awakens their stability. So they need to feel secure in order to feel pleasure. Touch them with purpose and respect. They melt when they feel safe and can relax. How to please your Capricorn? Slow escalation and reliability are the true aphrodisiacs. Now, Aquarius is typically more relaxed than Capricorn, but they may run cooler. So it may take a little bit of effort and ingenuity to get your Aquarian's engine running. On the body, they rule the calves and the ankles, making this area particularly sensitive for them. And in terms of chakras, it's the throat and the crown together. Keywords for your Aquarius include unique, electric, detached, and visionary. Aquarians pulse with erratic electricity. So if you touch their calves and trace circles at the ankles, they're going to spark. Their mind is their biggest erogenous zone. So keep things surprising and unpredictable and fun to keep your Aquarius engaged. The unpredictable and even offbeat is likely to really turn them on. They have to have their mind stimulated. So it can be stimulated by them wondering what you're going to do next. How to please your Aquarius: be inventive and surprise them with new sensations and ideas. And Pisces. Well, Pisces can be very indulgent and they can lose themselves in pleasure. So you want to give them an opportunity to escape when they're with you. On the body, they rule the feet and the toes. In terms of chakras, it's the crown as well as the root. Keywords for your Pisces include dreamy, empathetic, intuitive, and surrendered. Pisces feels through surrender, so you want to make sure they're really relaxed and can let go. And their feet connect heaven to earth. Massaging their footsies opens up channels for energy to flow upward, uniting their soul with their body. How to please your Pisces: be gentle, present, and soulful. Music, water, and soft textures heighten the magic, and that's what Pisces wants. Pisces wants magic. And to wrap up, here's 3 tips for your Taurus full moon, although you can use these tips at any time. Ground your energy. Breathe through the soles of your feet and feel your energy anchor into the earth. Let Mother Earth heal you. Honor your body. Thank every cell, thank every organ for all the hard work it does day in and day out. The better you're in touch with your body, the better you're going to be in touch with others' bodies. Be sure to invoke Venus. Light a candle or wear your favorite scent. Whisper gratitude for Venus for every pleasure you awaken. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this was helpful. Check out my website, psychicsun.com, if there's anything I can do for you, and I will see you soon.